Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Shameless Season 9, Episode 1. We back in business. Shameless is on TV. We start off with Frank sleeping on the floor with throw up, vomit all over him. And then he had the nerve to go to the sink and get a sponge that they wash dishes with and wash his underarms, wash between his legs, and wash his booty. I was just like, Frank is way too much. And Frank right now is a playboy. He is sleeping with the PTA moms. He's sleeping with the moms that is at Liam's school. He's getting down. I mean, like, they find him attractive. They want to have sex with him. I can't understand it. But I guess it's because the disgustingness of him not paying his taxes, not having a job, and being totally different from what they're used to and would never imagine themselves to be with, that they actually get turned on and they want to have sex with Frank. Frank looks like somebody you don't want to have sex with. Frank looks like, yes, he got gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. Yes, he does, but they sleeping with him. Frank is way too much. And then, we get Debbie. She got a new job. She's welding. She's doing a great job. I love her welding hat. And, she's working a lot and things like that. We don't know where her baby's at, but I believe the father's grandmother is actually babysitting the baby, because we don't know what's going on with that situation, because the grandmother said that she was going to babysit. So that's what I believe was going on with that situation. And also Deb is at her job, and she's facing some challenging situation where she's not getting paid like she's supposed to, like everybody else is getting paid, because she takes more bathroom breaks and she stays in the bathroom the longest. And also her boss is also calling her Jugs. Her boss is actually a really famous actor, and South Central, so many different other shows. And so, but I don't think Debbie understands what jugs mean, because jugs is like an old term. Like young people don't say jugs anymore. That's an old term to be sexist towards a woman, or to be sexually harassing a woman if you at work saying she got nice jugs. So I don't think that Deb understands that too as well, but she understands that she's not getting paid right, and she's upset about that situation. And so she does the most craziest things ever, where she confronts her boss, and then on top of that, she started making diapers, adult diapers, taping them with scotch tape and things like that, so she won't take a bathroom break, so she can get the money that she deserves while she's at work. I was like, go Deb. It seems like Deb is doing good. Her room is clean. Seems like she's focused and she's sticking up for herself, and she's not letting anybody take advantage of her. So that's the situation with that. I was just like, whoa, come on, Deb. It's good that she's not doing drugs anymore and going crazy. So that's the good situation too as well. And then we have Ian. Ian's in jail. He's still locked up for all the crazy shit he did last season, burning up things. But he thinks he's Jesus. He needs his medication. He needs so much help, but it seems like he's still not taking his medication. No one is actually forcing him to take his medication or advising him to take his medication, and I don't think you could force him. Only thing you could do, like if it's something really necessary where you have to take it, like if you're in an institution or something like that, they will put it down your throat, or they can start an IV. So, but he's not taking his medication. It just seems like it's a waste of his character. Where not like a waste of his character, because it's actually bringing awareness to mental illness. But I think it's going overload with the mental illness, especially from last season. It seems like Ian should be getting some help, and he should be doing something else too as well, because he's a great actor. Would like to see him, with a different story tell, where it's not surrounded by his mental illness, but it's important to talk about it, how it affects you, affects the situation around you. And with the religion complex, Shim, something like that, he would. So he's in jail, he's locked up, and he has started a prison strike or a jail strike, where he feels like the homosexual males, the trans, and everything in prison or jail are being treated very differently. So he started a strike until the other inmates can actually treat them with respect and have proper hygiene, and actually clean up and treat them with self-respect. That's what he wants. In real life, it just so sounds like unreal, but that's his type of character where Ian would feel sorry and Ian would want to help. And, Ian always gets in the middle of things. He wants to help. He wants to support. He has a good heart too as well. But I think the mental illness is overshadowing a lot of things because he became an EMT. He was doing so well, but that can happen once you don't take your medicine anymore. And especially if you have schizophrenia, you have bipolar and things like that, everything that you have that's working for you and that's going well, and you don't take your medication, you can be on a trip like Ian's on. Like, so that he's doing that situation where I just think his character could be doing a lot more. Remember season 3, Ian? So we have that situation going on, and he wants to stay behind bars because Fiona, she wants to bail him out. She got money. She's putting up her building, her little building apartment complex. She's putting it up. She's getting it appraised, and because she wants to get the bail money to bail him out. And her new boyfriend doesn't think that it's really a great idea for her to do that. He thinks that it seems like Fiona needs to move on and let him be responsible for his situation, but Ian doesn't have anybody else, and it seems like Fiona's gonna be probably moving towards not mothering anymore because they don't need any mothering. And also Ian saying that he wants to stay, he's not ready to go because there's a strike going on in prison with Fiona on jail when she went there to visit him too as well. And it's like he's actually telling her that I'd rather be in jail, I don't need your mother, and he's out here mothering himself too as well. So you have that situation go on, and Fiona actually gets the house appraised, and she actually gets enough money, and she's filling out the loan paper so she can actually get Ian out of jail. But her boyfriend right now doesn't think it's actually a great idea, and nor does Lip nor does Debbie think it's a great idea for her to bail out Ian, because is he trustworthy? Is he gonna come back? Is he gonna show up? Is she gonna lose her building? If she actually put it up, should Fiona be thinking about herself, thinking about what she needs to do? Does she realize how sick that Ian is and he needs help? And maybe that 50 grand, I don't know. No, she can't put it towards a mental institution because she needs that money. She doesn't have that money to actually, risk it. And Ian doesn't know. If Fiona asks Ian was like, I don't know if I'm gonna come back. I have no idea. I don't know what Shim wants me to do. I have no idea where God is gonna leave me or take me. But right now he's happy where he's at. He's content, and he feels like he's making a change. He's making a difference too as well. And so Fiona asked him, he was like, I don't know. So I don't know if Fiona's actually gonna continue to go through with trying to bail out Ian. It doesn't sound like it makes sense for her to do that. But I don't know if the guilt or the closeness that she has with Ian and her family, will she just walk away and not do it and leave him behind bars? And it also seems like, damn, Ian really needs Mickey because Mickey paid attention to him. Mickey, cared about him. Mickey was working with Ian and trying his best to help him. It just seems like everybody's living their own lives. And, even before the Jesus complex came out, and him doing all the stuff he was doing, nobody was really trying to get him help to see was he taking his medication. Fiona mentioned it a couple of times, but it just seems like he got off the path of taking his medication and he went off to the deep end, and it seems like nobody really noticed it. They just thought Ian was just doing Ian. And it seemed, and it blew up in everybody's face after he blew up that van. But he didn't kill anybody, he didn't hurt anybody, but he was in some mess. He was in something. And then on top of that, he was going against the grain of the church too as well. So he's locked up. And there was some kidnapping stuff involved too as well. So we'll see if he actually meets up with Mickey again. We'll see if Ian gets out and how long he's still going to have this complex, or is he going to get back on his medication, or he's going to feel like he does not need to take his medication because that's part of the illness. I don't need the medication too as well. So we'll see how that situation goes. I was like, damn, Fiona, you gonna put up 50 grand? Nah, Fiona, you can't put up 50 grand. But the show is built on how close and how tight knit the family is. But it seems like everywhere Ian goes, he's building a family. So then we have Lip. Lip is actually, still have Zan with him. He's still taking care of Zan. It seems like she spent the whole school year with him because she's actually skipping school a day to go to this wedding with Lip to actually go to Brian's wedding because his girlfriend finally married him after he, destroyed the Michael Jordan trophy. And, he's sober, and he brings, Zan there. Lip ends up having sex with, Brad, I believe, sister-in-law, and it was terrible because it was sober sex, and she was drunk and messed up, and it seems like, Lip was really involved. He wasn't there because he's really attached to Zan. Not saying sexually he's attached to her, but he wants to be a father. He wants to have a relationship, and it seems like he wants a girlfriend. It seems like he wants a kid and a child, and he's talking about, with Zan to sign, like she's missing school, to write a note to the teacher and sign, the letter as mother or father. And Zan was like, I could do that myself. So it seems like she's been there for the whole winter, and she's there almost the whole winter, and she's going to be there for the summer too as well, because summer's about to begin. And he really has taken, her under his wing, where he doesn't need parenting anymore. So it's kind of, Fiona's filling out a place too as well. And it seems like Lip is also taking on other problems, not to focus on his problem, as far as, healing himself and getting better and getting well, and focus on moving out of that garage, because he was supposed to be the childlike genius, got into college, got these scholarships. He had a good job at one point, even though they were stealing money, and he was working, with amongst people that was his age in college. Seems like, is he ever going to go back to college? Is he ever going to get a chance to work in a different type of career that is not manual labor, because he's supposed to have the brains, and it seems like his brains might go to waste, just like Frank did, and we don't want to see that happen. And how he can put things together and how smart he is. It seems like he's wasting his time at the motorcycle shop, but it helped him get better. Him building something and putting something together helped him stay sober, and also being with his sobriety coach, which helped him too as well. But he took on a whole new responsibility that could really stress him out, and also focus on him not being a young adult, a young sober adult, but he's actually becoming a father, even though that's something he wants. And he feels bad after he had sex with Tiffany, and he goes to see her because Brian asked him to go over there and visit her and see what's up with her. And he goes over there. She totally dissed him, call him limp, call him hump, poke, something like that. She just straight dissed him like it was nobody's business, like the sex was bad. Sober sex was awful. And he was like, no, your sex was awful, pukey. And so that went wrong. And it just seemed like, damn, for him to take that step to ask her out, it seems like he's still searching for the love. And and it seems like he's getting that love too as well from Zan, and protecting her and being a father to her, like the father like he never had, and protecting her because he understands where she's coming from, because now she's abandoned by her mother, her father, and her auntie too as well. And he knows that feeling all too well. So he's actually taking on a motherly role too as well, or an adult role where he doesn't need Fiona like that anymore. So we'll see what really happens with his story. And is he going to go back to school? Is he going to invent something? Is he going to go back into science? Is he going to go back into physics? What is he going to do? So, and he also looks so different with that haircut. He's more diesel. He's more bigger. He looks older, and he's very, very, very humble. So we have him and his situation, and Frank is going around just, having sex with all the PTA moms and all that other good stuff. He's stealing their stuff, just having sex one after the next. It was real funny when he was in one of the PTA mom's house, and the maid came in. The maid said that there has been some silverware missing, and Frank goes, I hope they don't blame you, in Spanish, because they're talking Spanish to each other. I was like, damn, Frank, you are so messed up. So there's an emergency PTA meeting. All the parents are there. The health department, the doctor comes out. He was like, there's been a spread of sexual transmitted disease, STDs, syphilis, gonorrhea, and what else? Chlamydia too as well. He got all the parents there, and it's been an outbreak at this school, especially in this PTA group. So they stood there, and they're standing there, and for able to go and arrest. And so now they all open up their deep dark secrets while they get penicillin, and they all admit to sleeping with Frank. And then we have two males come out and say that they were sleeping with each other, that they are gay. and they start kissing. Frank is helping them with their sexual inadequacies and their relationship building and bonding. Frank is getting a kick out of it. He's eating, he's having a good time. He's glad that he didn't get shit on. He didn't get shit on too as well. But before then, all the silverware and drugs that he has in his book bag, he gives it to Liam. Liam is like, he don't know what to do with this, and Frank is telling Liam that, hey, listen, since you didn't want to have that, you help me with that big score, I have to make my money the old-fashioned way by laying on my back. I was like, Frank, come on, Frank, what you doing? What you saying, brother? So we have that situation. Liam don't know what to do. He was like, don't get caught. Frank is telling is telling his son, like, hey, listen, don't get caught with the drugs on the school ground, because you shouldn't be in the school radius. So that was pretty interesting and funny too at the same time. And then we have Fiona. She put up the house. She goes to see her brother. She goes to see Ann. She doesn't know what to actually do. She's feeling confused. She's feeling like nobody really cares about Anne, and maybe she feels that way, or maybe she feels like she needs to move forward and she needs to move on. But she actually with Ford, he leaves his phone behind. She checks his phone. She knows you have to use your eyes to actually unlock the phone. She does that. She gets it unlocked and everything, and she asks him, who's this lady Jane or whatever that her name was, at Pat or Patricia, and he goes, that's my mom. Why does he need two phones, one phone for his mom and one phone for his business? Really doesn't make sense. But Fiona actually gets the phone. She's about to look at it. The phone ring. It's his mom, supposedly. And she drops the phone in the toilet. I don't know if that symbolized that her life is going to go in the toilet, or if she keeps snooping, she's going to find something that she don't want. Her life is going to go in the toilet. Or is the things around her going to fall apart too? So it was like really a waste of like a scene or whatever having that situation happen. So we have that. And she's still debating whether she should actually, bail her brother. Her and Ford are going good. They have a good relationship. He finds out that, she dropped his phone in the toilet and she was snooping. She put the phone in rice for it to soak up the water, which doesn't work. That's a myth. And then on top of that, she's like, well, yes, I did, but you didn't tell me you had two phones. He was like, you was snooping or whatever. So we know Ford has a bunch of kids or whatever. So we'll see what happens with his situation. What's going to go down with that. We're just like, damn. Then we get to Carl. Carl's the cadet academy. He's doing good. We see Cassie. She's out there. Seems like she's been vacationing out there for the winter, maybe for the summertime and when it got hot. And she's been out there saying, Carl, counting the days that's left, 2 more days, and Carl will be back home. She's screaming. She's yelling. She's happy. She's excited. She's cheerleading for him. Carl's like, this is a bad thing because he wants to be a cadet commander, a cadet lieutenant, and he feels like this is a bad situation, this is wrong. And then he has one of his cadets that he's in charge of is not too good, it's really kind of bad, and so he cussed him out and all this other stuff. That cadet goes to kill Cassie. I was like, oh my goodness, are they gonna really get rid of Cassie like this? Well, good riddance. But it was funny when Carl went to go talk to one of the guys in charge about, him actually becoming a cadet lieutenant, next year. And he was like, well, there's 2 things, you got the weak guy in your platoon, and then you also have this girl out here. And he was like, well, Carl was like, well, there's crazy women. My brother has a crazy woman. I have crazy women. Crazy runs in our family. My mom was crazy. And the guy was like, okay. And then he was telling Carl that he needs to get like a letter of recommendation for a councilman, the governor, a senator, or somebody like that. Carl was like, you really think I could do that? Carl, you can do anything. If you can sell drugs in school and get away with it, you can do it. And be the biggest drug dealer on the block and have all the money, you can do it. So we'll see how he gets, what's going to happen with Carl. But Carl is focused, and he's like, he really has a discipline. He has a goal. He has something that he wants. And now we know Carl doesn't need any mothering, but they all still do need love. But that kind of brings Fiona on the outside, when Fiona's whole job that she thought she was supposed to have was to be a mother and a father to her brothers and sisters, because Frank was no good, and Monica, she had mental illness and she was sick, and she was also medicating herself with street drugs. So that was the situation too as well. So we'll see what goes. And it doesn't seem like Carl is upset or mad that Cassie's dead, and the cadet his cadet tells him what happened that's in his platoon or whatever. I don't know how that situation going to go down. I don't know if there's going to be an investigation. If the other two cadets that heard the story going to say anything about it. But it seems like, I don't know, hopefully it's not the end of Carl's career because he didn't have anything to do with it. I was just like, whoa, this is going crazy with that situation. But Carl's doing good. Like, he's really focused. Like, whatever he puts his mind to, he become the best at it, for real, for real. So we have that situation. And then we finally get to see Debbie get her money and get the right pay that she's supposed to get because she deserves it too as well. And after she gets her check, he calls her, okay, Jugs. And then she realized, oh my God, he's talking about my boobs. And Deb peeing on herself in a diaper at work. That sounds like something that Frank would do. You know, it was just like, it was really, it was funny too as well. But you expected more, wanted more, but it wasn't a letdown. So we have them situation going on. Then we have, Kermit, and Kermit is showing up to the bar or whatever, and he's trying to, and the bar's closed, and once Kevin opened the door, he was like, thank God you opened the door, it's about time. I just thought that was too funny. Kermit's just way too funny. And then V and Kev, they can't control their two kids because Pilano's gone. It's just like, what's going on? They got their kids in a cage, like a dog cage or whatever, with caution tape around it. It's just a mess. And they can't control their kids. At one point in time, wasn't Kevin like the greatest father in the world? At one point in time, V was the greatest mother in the world. All of a sudden, now they can't control their kids. Are they losing it because the kids are getting older? Or the bar's too much stress? Or having Spillana going is too much stress? What is it? Because they had great parenting skills. What happened? What's going on with the situation? And so it was also funny when the lady with the dogs came in, and Kev was like, we're going to get shut down by the county. And the other guy, he was like, you're not going to get shut down by the county. You're going to get shut down by having your kids in a cage. And it was like, Kev was like, it's not a cage. It's a playpen. It's just like, what is going on? Then they're treating their two daughters like dogs. Like, this is way too much of you treating your two daughters like dogs, fetching to go play ball, to tire them out, to get them to sleep. Then you realize, oh yeah, daycare, preschool, that's where they can go. Like, where is V and Kev's head? Are they really that much stressed out that they can't handle the situation? Or we're gonna see the third child that V mom is raising? That'll be interesting to see if that does happen. And we have and that was kind of funny too as well. But I was just like, damn, what is really going on? And then Fiona sit down at the table with her brothers and sisters or whatever, with Debbie, with Lip and Liam, and they're sitting at the table, whatever. They eat like spaghetti with no sauce on it. It looks dry. It looks like, it looks like they're really struggling hard still. Like, they can't have decent meals when, Deb works, Lip works, and Fiona, I don't know if she's still working at the diner that she was working at, but she has the apartment complex, and she is getting rent, and they're still eating that. And she's talking about she wants to bail out Ian. They're looking at her, and there was like, Lip was like, you sure he's gonna come through? You sure he's gonna show up? You sure that he's gonna follow through so you can get your money back? And then they move on, and she's just stuck there. She's watching like everybody has moved on, and they're like adults and everything. No one's questioning why Dan is still there. She's just there. So now she's having some doubt whether she should bail out Ian. And I wonder if she's going to take that risk. And we know Fiona takes risks for her brothers and sisters, but is she going to start thinking about herself? And it was also kind of weird that, it also gives validity to V and Kev when they're not able to cash a check for $720. And then V said, we can't cash a check for $720 after we close too as well. So they must still be struggling really hard and not making any money at all. So it seems like it's going down. So we'll see what's going to happen, what's going to go on in the next, episode, where the story's going to go for Zan, Carl, and Ian, and Fiona. We'll see what's up. Peace. I'm out.